What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about how to stand out in a job interview. So very important. I'm going to tell you about one time that I did that, and I'm sure that one of the techniques that I used helped me get the job, and you will go out of here with some really clear pointers that we talk about a lot, but really clear in this specific situation that will help you go into your next job. Whether the interview is tomorrow online or next week in person or 3 years down the road, you'll remember this stuff and you'll definitely, you'll have a good chance of getting the job. I don't know how really qualified you are for it, so I can't promise you anything, but let's get right into it. How to stand out for your job interview. The main fear here, this goes right back to the fears of public speaking, which are two main fears, which we've talked about in another video about how to crush your public speaking fear. One is about me screwing up, and one is about them not liking me. I either have a fear, my main fear of public speaking is either that I'm going to mess up. I did all this work and I put in all this plan, but I'm going to fumble over my words, I'm going to screw it up, and it's my own fault. That's a huge fear that people have. Another fear is that I'm going to show up and they're not going to like me. I did all this work and they're not going to receive it, they're not going to get it, they're not going to feel like it was valuable. So one is about me and one is about the audience. Job interviews are so much about the audience. The main fear for job interviews is the audience. You're going in there nervous as anything because they are not going to like you, you think. And so it doesn't matter how qualified you are, how much you know your stuff, how confident you are in who you are and what you have to bring to the company. You shake in your boots, your palms get sweaty, you sweat down your face because you're so scared of what they're going to think about you. So what I want to do today is give you some really clear tricks and tools, which are stuff that I talk about a lot, but specifically in this situation that will help you so that you don't have to be afraid of them liking you or not. That's not going to be the issue in your next job interview. And it really comes down to these 6 words that help to make speaking magical. I mean, if you've gotten my Make Speaking Magical video course, then you've seen these words. I've talked about these all the time. But again, specifically in this context, they're really, really unique and important. I want you to connect. If you can connect with your audience, you connect with your boss or this manager who's across the table. Let's imagine there's a manager there. And let's call this manager Sheila. And Sheila's sitting across the table and she's got her papers, she's got your resume, and she has this look on her face and she looks up and she says, "Hi." And you greet her with a smile. What are you going to do in that first few seconds that's going to connect with her? How are you going to build trust with her? What are you going to do? How are you going to share your values, experiences, and resources with her to build trust right away? If you can connect, you can break down that wall, then you are actually going to already be working with a human and not just some sort of person on the other side that you're terrified of. You're going to build trust with your audience. Then what you have usually a lot of opportunity to do with a job interview is to captivate, to tell a great story. Job interviews are great for this. I got an itchy nose here. Job interviews are great for this. They give you all kinds of opportunities to say, tell us about a time when, you found it really hard to work with another employee. Take those opportunities, for goodness sake, and tell a really good story. Tell a captivating, transformational story out of that. Tell us the time that it was really hard to work with another employee. Then you go into the story arc and you say, well, I once thought that I was the king of everything. I go into a situation and I should do everything. But then I faced this employee that really got grinded my gears or really got under my skin. And we always used to battle each other. But then we actually had a really good, healthy conversation with each other. And because of that, I'm better for it. And now I feel like I can go into any situation and deal with difficult employees, fellow employees in a really healthy way. That is a transformational story arc that's going to captivate your audience, that manager trying to hire you, wanting to hire you. Now, let's go a little bit more. You want to get concrete. And here's where I did something that really set me apart from the crowd. I was going for a job, and we were looking at how are we going to really research this specific age demographic and help them really be a part of this organization that we want them to be a part of. And I went in there and I shared all my ideas, and then I stood up in this room and I grabbed a whiteboard marker and I said, is it okay if I draw on the whiteboard? As you can tell, I enjoy to do this. And then I drew this picture. I said, I think what's happening here is we've got this house. and I talked about this house, and I drew the house, and I drew a few different pictures of it, and I took them through the process of where I think they are and where I think they could be. And I'm telling you, they were right drawn in. Later, they said, I still think about that house thing. 8 months later, when I was on the job, they said, I still think about the house that you drew in your job interview. This sort of stuff, making it concrete, showing them a picture of where you can take them, absolutely massive. It ignites the visual part of the brain. It's so critical. Then you can make it credible. How do you talk about the people that you've worked with? This is references, sure, but this is old experiences. This is ways that these are numbers and facts, ways that you've crushed it in your roles that you've been in before. Don't be afraid of this. People love this stuff. They need the facts, the numbers, the names, the true, honest stories, experiences that you've been through. Give them some sort of percentages, something that you've done to change up things. They need that stuff. And then finally, or not finally, we got one more after this. I want you to make it a conversation. This is never go in to a job interview thinking that this is just an opportunity for them to talk to you. This is an opportunity for you to talk back and forth. Try to ask a question. Ask them a question about, not just about the job, but about themselves, about this place. Ask them something. When they say, do you have any more questions? My goodness, don't say no. Have some good questions lined up, please, because when it's a conversation, they know that you're a real human being and that we're in this together. We want the same thing. The conversation piece is so critically important. And here's what I want you to do. Just like any good talk, you're going to make it a call to action. I know this feels like they have all the power and they're the ones who are going to call you to action, but what if you left that meeting and you said, great, I'm excited about our next conversation together. So when can we set up another conversation? I'm so excited about what you're doing. I'm going to go and talk about you guys on Instagram today and share with my audience about how great this organization is. You tell them a call to action. You give them a call to action. Great, so when can you connect with me? Who can I talk to? You go into some sort of next step. I'm telling you, it's going to get their attention. These are 6 ways, 5 big ones, and then this massive call at the end that might be a little bit unique. Ways that you can stand out in your next job interview and make sure that you are captivating your audience. That manager, Sheila, is never going to forget you. And if you're qualified for the job, there's absolutely no doubt that you stand out from the rest. Next job interview, my friends, make it connect, captivate, concrete, credible conversation, make it a call to action. The job is yours. Maybe. We'll talk to you again soon.